symptoms can be different and the cause can be different. It happens with the medical science also. People can come up and say, oh, we have a very bad career. And it is a high possibility that the guy is lazy.
With the 12th house, there will be a temptation to put money in the stock market because 12th house means, you want quick things.
So these are artificial energies. They don't know whether you are Alokji or Bhabajeet. It's like a bullet.
Most important remedy that we can do for any planet is to read the Srimad Bhagavatam every day.
So the remedy has to be a part of the life. Then only it is sustainable. आप महीने में 2 बार भगवान के दर्शन रैंडम करने चले जाओ, कुछ नहीं हो.
Bhabajeet, now quickly going to the other planets. The other most feared planet is Shani Maharaj. So, what would your remedy be for malefic, a very malefic Shani in a chart?
Yeah, so first of all, we need to understand what Saturn is. So, Saturn represents many things, but if it is specifically very badly placed, then it means during Saturn Dasha, and if it is related with the Dusthana houses, we can face terrible humiliation in life. But why are we facing humiliation? Because we have humiliated somebody in their previous lifetime. So now that humiliation is coming back to us. It is not that, out of nowhere, somebody is coming and humiliating. It doesn't work like that. So this means the first remedy for a bad Saturn, you have a Saturn Mahadasha upcoming, or you get it in your life, or after 30 years, doesn't matter. But in general, the most important remedy is to be humble and to be very respectful with the people who are not privileged like us many a times. So this is very important at a behavioral and at a functional level. Another thing is Saturn is the karaka for all the Dusthana houses. So what it does is it gives fear inside. Like for a man, it can give fear, I will not be respected anywhere, or nobody will want me. For a lady, I have seen Saturn gives fear, like, nobody will love me, I will be left all alone. So if we have that kind of fear sometimes, then we can always chant Om Namo Narayanaya. This is a Ashtakshari mantra which will always help us to get rid of fear, and you will see the results from day one itself. You just sit and take a mala and you chant this mantra 108 times. You will feel that yes, I can do better in life basically, because this will remove the darkness. Eighth house is the darkness basically. It's the self doubt that we have. Now, why do self doubt come? Why does self doubt come inside us? Because we have seen many failures, right? When we perpetually keep seeing failures in our life, one after the other, like this is not working, that's not working, nothing is working, then self doubt comes in us, which is like saying we have gone into darkness, we don't see any light there. So therefore, chanting Om Namo Narayana, and at a functional level, yes, you can also fast on Saturdays. That can be a good remedy. Then donating on Saturdays, that can also be good. Then donating on Amavasya day, that can also be good if there is Pitra dosh and all this. But overall, for Saturn, I've seen the two most important remedies is you have to be humble. Don't take anything or anybody for granted, because it's there today, it may not be there tomorrow. And number one, you have to work hard in life. You cannot take shortcuts. Like the people tell me that, oh, Saturn Dasha is there, something which always worked is not working now. So I tell them, no, it's not like that. It basically means the shortcuts are not working anymore, because uh, see, in Jupiter, before Saturn Jupiter Dasha comes, so in Jupiter, I've seen people taking shortcuts because shortcuts work some of the times. But the moment Saturn Dasha comes, the easiest way that my Dasha has changed is what always worked doesn't work anymore. So it means you have to upgrade yourself, you have to see things from a different perspective, because what brought you to a particular position may not keep you there necessarily. So you have to understand the reality and change your perspective, change your actions. So Saturn has to be dealt at a behavioral level, and mantra I have already said, fasting, donation, and all this. But most important is we have to be humble, and we should not bully others. That's the most important thing.
So, Alok sir, would you like to add something to this?
Yes, I would like to add only because he has mostly covered everything, so I will not repeat them. I will add one thing. Saturn controls the air element in the body, right? So, and he loves pranayama. So, pranayam can be the best. I mean, adding to what Bhavya has said. So, pranayam can be one of the best remedy for Shani, Sadesati, Dhaiya, Dasha, whatever Saturn impact on your body, mind. What happens in Shani time is the metabolism of the body basically slow down. So your comprehension power, your action taking power, and your aura also changes accordingly. That's why you have to feel a lot of humiliation or maybe slowness in everything in the life. So what we need to do is keep that slowness in the mind and make the body more active. So any physical workout, specifically pranayam or anything which is related with air element, maybe you can go to gym, you can do cycling, you can go to swimming, anything which is basically purifying the air in the body. Because what happens when you feel sad? The breath slow down, right? That is the first indication of depression, that you are breathing very slowly. You don't want to do anything, you are feeling lethargic, you are feeling very lazy. The breath has slowed down, and this is the impact of Shani. So if we can increase the prana shakti, if we can increase the energy level through pranayam or any breathing exercise, that works very well. Because as he said, in Jupiter Dasha, since you are dominated by Akash Tattva, so you are very light, your body is very light, your mind is very light, you are surrounded by very good people, normal if Jupiter is well placed, right? So everything happens like this. Guru doesn't work very hard. The moment Saturn comes in your life, it is a time when you have to work very hard, and the body will not support, the mind will not support. That's why it becomes so difficult. So the need of the hour is that this is a time when you have to work very hard. You don't want to work because the energy level is reduced and the body is also not supporting. That's why this planet becomes very critical, because you are not following the dharma. I mean what you are supposed to do at that moment. So pranayam, any bodily exercise, donation, and I want to add two mantras, basically two things for Saturn, other than what Bhavya has said. One is Om Namah Shivaya chanting works like magic, because Saturn treats Shiva as their Aradhya, and Shiva is the supreme power. So what Shani does is basically it disturbs the entire five element, right? And Om Namah Shivaya Panchakshari mantra is basically five element mantra. So the balancing of the five element works very well. Second is Kal Bhairav Ashtakam. Ashtakam is something which works on the eighth house, as he has suggested eighth house mantra, Ashtakshari mantra. And since Saturn is Bhairav, so Kal Bhairav Ashtakam works very well in Shani, Shani Dasha, Shani Antardasha. I'm adding to the laundry list given by him. So everything what he has said, I also agree with this, and these are some of the addition which I want to do. And donation, obviously, uh, somebody who is working under you, somebody who is underprivileged, but that doesn't work when you have already into Sadesati. When Sadesati is there, nothing works. You have to do it before Sadesati. Or maybe before the Shani Dasha comes. So it should be into your nature. It does God, you cannot deceive him, right? It is not that Jupiter Dasha, you are very strong headed, you are basically bossing everybody because your aapka balla chal raha hai, and the moment Saturn Dasha comes, you become very humble. It doesn't work that way. So the humbleness, discipline, truth should be the way of your life. Then Saturn Dasha Sadesati will be better. You cannot make a fool of God, right? भगवान को नहीं बना सकते बेवकूफ. अब शनि दशा आ गई तो अब मैं बहुत धार्मिक हो गया. So मे भी शनि दशा 19 साल की है तो 8-9 साल आप घिसोगे, 8-9 साल तक आप करते रहोगे, तब कुछ रिजल्ट आएगा, अगर if you have started only in शनि दशा. But if you have started in Guru Dasha, when there is a lot of blessing coming from Jupiter, at that moment when you are humble, then obviously Saturn Dasha will be much better. This is my take on this.
So going forward, so two very important planets in our chart, Bhabajeet, are Surya and Chandra, of course, apart from the rest. But Surya, as we know, is the Karka of Atma, it signifies father, it signifies any higher authority, and Chandrama is the Man, which actually controls us, through which we operate basically. That's our operating software. We see the world, perceive the world through our mind. So when these are afflicted or not well placed in a chart, so what kind of remedies would you suggest for a native for these two planets?
So the sun, as I say, it is like the kingdom. Now, kingdom means everybody is a king at some level. We may not be a king like Maharana Pratap or Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, but we own something. We own a house, a car, or we own some position, whatever. We have some ownership. So whenever we have ownership, even an ant has some ownership. Now, moon represents how we feel about what we own. That is where the difference is. So that is why, in a way, moon is more important than the sun, because if you do not have a lot, but if you feel good about what you have, you are still happier. And on the other side, if you have a lot and you don't feel good about it, so it's like you don't have anything. So
Yes.
uh, if our sun and moon, they are afflicted or they are badly placed, so then we need to understand that we have not done sufficient inner work on ourselves. So it means, it can mean a lot of things. In our previous lifetimes, we have given we have given into a lot of things which give us quick pleasure. Like anything which gives us it's like anything which is tempting, like Rahu element, because Rahu, Ketu, they have the power to eclipse the sun and moon. So, what does this mean? This means whenever you get trapped into Rahu or Ketu, so because the sun and moon, they will show very standard procedures. Like, okay, you are born, then go to Gurukul in the ancient days, or nowadays, go to school and learn and improve. So make yourself better, then choose a career you can contribute into, then choose a spouse that which you think can be a good addition into your life, then be a responsible father or a mother, and then take vanaprasth at the age of 50, and then later on maybe also you take sanya. So they will always show the standard procedure. So the moment we are deviating from anything standard in the society, now when I say society, I don't mean like 2025 or India or the West. I mean society in terms of what the Vedic scriptures encourage us to do. So whenever we are deviating, then it means, like for example, nowadays I see many times people say, okay, I will not, I don't need to take care of my parents, they are there, they will take care of themselves. So now you may not be there physically, but you should make sure that either ways, directly or indirectly, you are supporting your mother, your father, sun and moon, parents. Then you can worship Sri Ram, and for moon, of course, Sri Krishna is the avatar. So Krishna, Ram, and Sunday and Monday. And one of the most important remedies I've seen is, rather than starting from Monday, you can plan your week from Sunday. This works very much, because the sun is even at a planetary level, he's the king of the planets, right? So it is like you start everything from Sunday. We don't treat it as a holiday, we treat it as a day where we can do some good spiritual activity to begin our day. Like from my side, I always try to visit a temple on Sunday, even when I'm in Germany nearby. Sunday, then listening to the divine vibration of the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all this. So when you start your day, and of course, if sun is very badly afflicted in your chart, then you have to do some remedies for, like, yeah, during Amavasya, some extra dan you have to do, some fasting you have to do. And also, if Mars is having some connection with Sun or Moon, then on Ekadashis you can do fasting, you can do more spiritual practices, more donation on Ekadashis. So Amavasya and Ekadashi, and of course, if Saturn is the one who is inflicting, then you might have to do some remedies on Saturday also, along with either Sunday or Monday. But yeah, and for Moon specifically, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, this mantra works very well. This will uplift you. It will give you. It will give you happiness in general if you chant this mantra. And do not deceive others. Don't give in to the Rahu elements basically. And yes, be true to yourself. Do what you like. Do what you are inspired by. Be genuine. Because A person who has a good sun and moon, you will always see they are very genuine, which means the inside out is the same, because the moon is inside, the sun is outside, right? so so you will see that they are not deceitful, they are not duplicitous, so like be like Sri Ram, basically, like Maryada Purushottam, be in the line, basically.
Okay. Alok sir, would you like to add something to Sun
Yes,
and
I will.
Moon?
Yes, I will be again adding because whatever he has said is I agree with this. So for me, moon is controlling the water in the body, right? And we are mostly made of the water. And then what happens when the emotion basically disturbs in your life, you tend to go to water. For example, you are crying, your mom will say, okay, take some water. If you are very if there is a fear, then again you will go to water. You are not feeling, so you are very angry, again you need to go to, you have to take the water, right? Then your friend will say, take some water, calm down, cool down. So moon is directly related with water. So increasing the water intake, and that's why we have so many psychosomatic issues nowadays. In moon has become the most important planet now because of less water intake. You see the west, they are the richest people, but since because they are living in a very cold place, they have less water intake. That's why they are having so much of psychosomatic problems, right? Because the water is, and in India where the heat is very high, we are taking lot of water. So easiest remedy which anybody can do, increase the water intake for moon. Second is, moon is very fast, right? The fastest of all the planets, everybody knows. And that's why how your mind works. The mind is very, you get the man chanchal hai bahut. It's always roaming. And it stays at only one point, that is Shiva's head. So Shiv dharan karte hain Chandra ko. So that's why Om Namah Shivaya or meditation of Shiva will always make your mind peaceful. These are the two things. For sun, and then obviously moon is like Shakti, so any form of Bhuvaneshwari or any form of Lalita Sahasranam works like magic for moon, right? On the sun, it is, everybody knows that it is Atma Karaka and it is our soul, and majorly the indicator of the health in the body, energy. So now you have got a lot of energy problems in India specifically because we are always living in AC. So we don't encounter sun. Now sun is nature. Your day start when the sun rise. The best remedy for sun is if you are syncing with the nature. So you are getting up when the sun is there, you are retiring when sun is not there, and the entire day if you are syncing with the nature, sun automatically improves. That is the basic quality you will find in all the successful people in this world. Discipline. They are early riser, and then they do the entertainment when the moon is there. They do what they want to do. They do what they should do when the sun is there, because sun is the dharma karaka and moon is like the mind. So to relax yourself when the moon is there, to do whatever is required to do when the sun is there, the dharma. So if you are syncing with the nature, sun will improve in your chart. Yeah. But when you do Surya Namaskar with the Surya mantra, then it becomes a spiritual exercise. So Surya Namaskar has got 12 asanas and we have got 12 mantras, Surya mantras. So if you're reciting one Om Suryaya Namah, taking one Surya, one action in Surya, one step in Surya Namaskar, it becomes very spiritual and it improves the sun. As Bhabajeet has said, it is Ram Avatar, so Ram Raksha Strot or Aditya Hriday Strot. This is also working very well. But nowadays, if you ask people to stay some time in the sun, that also works very well. Because normally in India, Bhabajeet, we don't even, we have a lot of blessing of Lord Sun, but we don't want to encounter sun. So I will live in a AC home. I will go to my parking through my lift without encountering sun. I will get into my car, start my AC. The moment I'll get into my car, I'll go to my office, take the lift, and then get into my office, which is 100% AC. So we basically, in India, we basically don't encounter sun. And that's why we have so much of confidence issue, because sun is the karaka for the atma bal, confidence, and atma samman, self respect. So if you basically, for especially for youth and kids, ask them to spend some time with the sun, the surya will improve. Ask them to spend some time with the moon, the mind. Sitting near a water, near a river, or maybe near a canal, or near a lake, will also help improve your mood. So other than this, what Bhabajeet has said, these are the small remedies which you can do. And the last is the Surya and Chandra are Shiva and Shakti, right? So if you are worshipping Shiva Shakti in a Shiva in Ardhanarishwar form, that works for both the planet. Or maybe you are offering water to Shivalingam, and then Devi Murti is also there. That is also like, moon is water, and you are pouring water to Shivalingam. That is cleaning your emotions, basically. That is a remedy for the combustion also, or Amavas also. Yes.
So now we are left with three planets, namely Budh, Shukra, and Mangal. Now, Budh controls our intellect, intelligence. Shukra is all about relationships, and Mangal is parakram, courage. So, if either of these planets are not well placed in a chart, the native could suffer in very critical areas. So, Bhavajeet, what would you recommend to these natives? What can they easily do to actually reduce their pain?
Yeah, so there's one great astrologer in the West. His name is Ryan Kurzak. He was there in my channel like some 4 or 5 years back. So he told me that he said something very interesting. He said generally Mars and Mercury are the most ignored planets in astrology. You will very, I mean, if you see all the astrology discussions, very rarely, if you keep Manglik aside, in India, Manglik is another topic, but if you
Mhm.
keep Manglik aside, Mars and Mercury are not so much discussed. So he said, but Mars and Mercury, in his opinion, are the one of the most important planets because they are the only two planets which can get you out of trouble, and no other planet. at, at a materialistic sense, materialism in the sense like with your sheer hard work, sheer brain, sheer desire, and your intellect, it's like icha shakti. It's like the desire is Mars, and your brain is Mercury. So whenever people have problems with Mercury, I always tell them that please take up some basic course in communication. Like you will always see people who have problems in Mercury, they will have some weird communication styles which are not optimized. For example, they will ask you a question and self answer it 30%. Let me give you an example. So suppose I ask somebody, कहाँ से आए हो, इंदौर से कि दिल्ली से? It's like I'm asking you and I'm only answering on your behalf. What is remaining for you, right? Or else you will see if Mercury is not well placed, they will not be able to give you crisp information. They will say, oh, actually, like you can see this when you start a consultation. Maybe Alokji, you will realize this. Like if you ask them a question, the client, in general, tell me about yourself. So if the consultation is 1 hour, they will speak for 45 minutes. They will tell you, oh,
Correct.
my grandfather was this, my great grandfather was this, I won a prize when I was, 3 years old in my, drawing competition, and all this they will say. So it means they are not able to decipher what is important at this moment. So it means
Crispiness.
yes, exactly. So there is a lack of preparation whenever Mars and Mercury are badly placed, especially Mercury. You will see the person is not very prepared, or the person will not be able to summarize things properly. So it shows, the attention is not there, or if Mars is not there, the desire itself is missing. I don't want to be here. I'm just, dragging along on paper, because the motivation is not there. So for Mars and Mercury, again, we can do all the standard things like For Mars, we can chant Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya. That is a mantra for Narsimha Dev. It's very powerful. We can fast on Tuesdays. Ekadashi fasting we can do. We can consume Ekadashi food on during Ekadashi is very important. And also we can participate in Narsimha Yagya and all this. And we can read the seventh canto. Srimad Bhagavatam has detailed description about Prahlad Maharaj and Narsimha Dev. And most important is we have to protect. Whenever we see there is injustice somewhere, we have to try in our best interest to our best capacity to protect that person or that organization or that group from calamity to whatever extent possible. We don't have to go and give our life for somebody, but yes, to whatever extent possible we should help and protect somebody. And for Mercury again, like Jaimini Rishi says, whenever Saturn and Mercury are having problems, please chant Om Namo Narayana. So that mantra works there also. And the best remedy for Mercury is to prepare in advance, like you are going to give a presentation or you are going to go for a job or a session or a webinar, whatever it is. Like, please prepare, please plan and structure things. And if your communication is really not up to the mark, please take up some communication course. But by communication I don't mean you have to speak like some Jordan Peterson or somebody like that, but basic communication, how to and another problem I see with Mars Mercury, if they are like badly placed, the person has no patience, the person cannot communicate. Like, they will keep interrupting you all the time. So you are having a conversation with them and it's a nightmare. They will always interrupt you. And the moment you say I have suppose that you tell them, oh, I lost my job, they will bring up their own story. They will say, oh, you lost your job. Yeah, I also lost my job 5 years back, which is not relevant in any way, but they are addicted to talking about themselves. So I would say talk and then listen and yeah, have a good communication. And apart from that, all the other standard remedies can always be done for both of these plants. But be prepared and do your homework. Basically, that's the remedy.
Okay, and what would you say for Shukra, Venus?
Yeah, Venus. Venus, very interesting plant. Venus. I mean, there are a lot of remedies you can do, but the best remedy I have seen that works for Venus is to do what you love. Now, when I say do what you love, I don't mean leave your job and turn your passion into profession, and then after 6 months you are like, oh, I don't have money to pay my rent. What will happen? No, I'm not saying that. Do what you are doing already in your life, but inculcate hobbies or anything which you like. You like to play tennis, you like to learn astrology, then learn, because Venus gets exalted in Pisces. Pisces is a sign which says you do things without any compulsion. Like, there's no reason why you are doing it. It's just that you like to do, so you are doing. So if you do certain things which make you feel good about yourself, because Venus is all relates to that feel good factor, right? So Venus is something which, even if it is not existing in your life, you can survive. But having Venus makes your life, worthwhile. Okay, so anything which makes you feel happy in life in general, with people, with activities, and all this in general, you can do. And on in context of remedies, you can always, like fast on Fridays. Then worshipping Rishikesh is also very important. Rishikesh is one of the forms of Vishnu, like in context of Vishnu avatar Parshuram, which is for Venus, but generally they worship Rishikesh. And also you can worship Ma Lakshmi, that is also very important. And yes, in general, you can be good to women and the opposite sex, but specifically women. And if you have sisters in general, or women in general, even if you are a female, women in general. So, and most importantly, the karaka of marriage in Venus. So, be respectful towards your spouse and treat them well. Basically, that maybe surpasses any remedy for Venus.
Okay. Alok, sir, would you like to add to something to these?
Yeah, so I'll start with Mercury, right? So Mercury is like the Avatara is direct. I mean, Mercury is directly Vishnu. So So Vishnu Sahasranam. This is my favorite remedy for Buddha. Because Vishnu Sahasranam, as he said, all the 9 planets representing the 9 avatars of Vishnu. So Vishnu Sahasranam is not only for Mercury, but it is for everything in your life. So this only single chant has the capacity to change everything in your life. And this is one of the chant which is said by Bhishma Pitama in front of Lord Krishna. You see that? तो भगवान स्वयं वहां मौजूद थे तब ये कहा गया है और उसमें केवल भगवान का अंश नहीं है, पार्वती जी ने भी शिव जी से पूछा है तो शिव जी का भी अंश है, भीष्म पितामह का अंश है, युधिष्ठिर का अंश है और कृष्ण भगवान के सामने कहा गया है. तो दिस कैन बी द सिंगल रेमेडी which can basically cure all the problem related with Buddha. Now why Buddha and Shukra is so important? Because भोवलोक के अंदर ये दो ग्रह ही हैं. So these are the 2 planets who are near to sun. So we spend maximum of our time either into career or into relationship. These 2 things are the most important in our life. Either we want to make money, stability in the life, Mercury, and then rest of the part we want to focus on career, relationship. Because these are the 2 planets who are near to sun. So Bhavaloka is Swargaloka owned by Shukra. So, so these 2 planets, as Bhabajit has rightly said, are normally ignored, but we as a human spend most of the time in these 2 planets only. Who cares about Jupiter nowadays? Or who is caring about Ketu as a Mokshakarka nowadays? We are mostly spending our time only in these 2 planets. So Vishnu Bhagwan is something which is very important in Kali Yuga. Second is obviously to learn. So the Karka of the 10th house is Mercury. What does it mean? Mercury is a student. So if you are learning something, your career will never fall. The moment you start saying that, okay, I know everything about my stuff, then you are bound to fall. Because Mercury is all about learning and it is the primary karka of the career. So stability in the career, as he said, taking some courses. I will add that not only any communication course, anything in your career, which will be a student. You can be a student of maybe music. You can be a student of business. You can be a student of spirituality. Be a student. That's the first remedy for Buddha. Now, when I talk about Venus, it is Ma Lakshmi. So obviously, Bhabajit has covered most of the things. I would like to add Lalita Sahasranam works like magic. Because why I am again saying Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, in Kali Yuga there are 2 things. One is Naam Jap and second is Deva Darshan. Right? So going to temple, have you seen that it is increasing like anything, Deva Darshan. We have recently seen Kumbha. So Naam Japavali, which is 2 Japavali is the best, Lalita Sahasranam and Vishnu Sahasranam. Vishnu Sahasranam is for Buddha, Lalita Sahasranam is for Venus and Chandra. Right? And Deva Darshan, going to any temple of Devi for Venus. Other than this, Venus is your Virya. Right? Venus controls the sperm. Anything which you can protect, which you can do to protect the sperm. Right? Maybe you can eat healthy, have some ghee in your food, have some dhatu in your food, which will increase the ojas. Venus is your ojas. That's why we say, okay, this person is looking very rich, because you can identify from the face only that he is very rich. What is happening? Venus is coming out of the face, the ojas in you. So anything which increase the ojas in you will improve the Venus. That's why it is very important that if you want to improve Venus, you have to take care of yourself very well. You have to you have to carry yourself very well. Maybe you can use some perfumes or other. I'm adding to what he has said basically. So you can use some perfumes. You can use some nice stuff, maybe some luxury stuff also for Shukra. What other remedy I have seen working for Venus is helping girls, or maybe helping poor girls in getting married. Maybe you can sponsor marriages if you have that much of money, or maybe you can help them, because Venus is like the karka of the 7th house. If you are helping somebody to start their family, it will help your family also. So for Mangal, obviously Lord Hanuman is one-stop solution for Mars, and Mars is your blood, right? So Mars and Chandra is basically your blood. So donate and Mangal is a karaka for accident. It is the lord of the eighth house as well as the lord of the first house in Kalpurush chart. So your overall body shape and your prana is controlled by Mars. So donation of blood is very good remedy for Mangal. We have done a research on that. People who are donating blood on a regular basis, they have less health issues and less accident in their life. Because what happens in accident basically, what happens in operation, the blood comes out. There is an injury and the blood comes out. So if I'm going voluntarily for the blood donation, that can basically help me. Again, we are doing the same thing. We are not changing the event. The event has to happen. If the blood has to come out of my body today, either it will come by an accident or maybe I can go to hospital and donate some blood. That works very well. Mars is the karka of this body. So go to gym, maybe do some physical stuff, and since it is the protector of the body. So all the external influence is basically we are protected through Mars from the external influence. So Panchakarma therapy I have seen working for Mars. Any sort of massage, specifically the Ayurveda massage, works very well for Mars. Other than what he has said, anything which is basically creating the basically helping you to improve your blood circulation, improve the Mars. And the other thing is both for both planets, because as per Rishi Parashara, Mercury is found in a playground, right? When he talks about when you find the Guru in the temple, Rahu somewhere in the holes, Surya somewhere, Mercury is found in the playground. And same works for Mars also. So if you are playing something, so if you are a sports, I mean if you are a sports lover, that will help you to improve Mercury as well as Mangal, both. So these are some of the remedies which we can do.
Okay. Okay, the last planet, the most Shubh planet of the cosmos, Dev Guru Brihaspati. Bhavajit, what is your take on remedies for Brihaspati?
So, Brihaspati, the most important remedy I have seen working is, of course, we can, like, if you talk from a mantra perspective, Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Vamanaya, this is Dwadashakshari mantra, this is for the 12th house, 12 syllables. This helps for moksha and all this, to get good direction in life. Then, of course, most important is you have to learn from your guru if you can, physically or online or whatever, but be always grateful for the knowledge that you have received. Any kind of knowledge, not just spiritual knowledge, because if you see in the horoscope there are 12 houses, and Parashar Muni has assigned karakas for every house. And if you calculate Jupiter, you start like second house is the Karaka, then he's Karaka for the fifth house. And for ladies, he's Karaka for the seventh house. Then he's Karak for the ninth house. Then he's Karak for the 11th. Some also say he's Karak for the 10th house also, along with Mercury, Sun, and Saturn. So either you take five or you take six. So almost like 40-50% of the horoscope is covered by this one planet. So how important this planet is. And Sri Krishna also says in the Gita, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. He says, go and learn humbly from your guru, learn to serve your guru. That is why in India, nowadays also, but more in ancient India, there was this tradition that whenever you had your own birthday, nowadays in birthdays, what happens? The boy or the girl is made to worship like a deity, as if like some devata, cake and everybody is clapping. But in ancient India, how birthdays were celebrated, it was like you invite sadhus to your home, you invite spiritually elevated people, you make the birthday boy or the birthday girl go and serve them so that they can get their blessings basically. So in short, like reading the scriptures every day, like one page of the Bhagavad Gita you read every day, your intelligence will be very sharp. It will be like, any incidents comes in your life, you will remember one shloka. And Bhagavad Gita is directly Shruti, because it is directly the word of Vishnu himself, Krishna himself. So who can be a better guide than Krishna himself? So whenever we read the Bhagavad Gita, or Vishnu Sahasranam also, and Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, which is the crest jewel of all the Vedic scriptures, we will exactly know what we should do in life. For example, if you read Ramayan is like, it will tell you how to be a straight person, straight in the sense, like how to be on that standard trajectory, when everything is good or bad sometimes. But the Mahabharata will tell you how to deal in gray situations, because in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, it is like black and white, like Sri Ram and that side is primarily like 99% white, and we know Ravan and that side is primarily black. But in Mahabharata, it is not like that. Like Bhishma Pitama, he is primarily white, but there are some gray shades. Dronacharya also white, but some gray. And
Mm.
Pandava mostly white with tinge of black somewhere. But yeah, so Mahabharata will teach you that, and Bhagavad Gita will teach you how to deal in emergency. How to have faith in Krishna, how to have faith in God in general. So in short, like reading of the Vedic scriptures, because Guru is wisdom. So wisdom means like Mercury is the knowledge, information, polished information, knowledge, skills. But Jupiter is like what is above this. So the best way to do is to read the scriptures every day. So as I said, one page of the Gita you read every day, or one shloka also, your life will be transformed. So in 2 years you can finish the Bhagavad Gita, like 700 shlokas, so less than 2 years actually. So yes, if you do this, and most important, as I said, worshipping the Guru and uh, connecting to God at a spiritual level, that's what Guru is at the end. Higher energy, basically.
Okay, Alok sir, would you like to add anything to Dev Guru Brihaspati's remedies?
Yes, yes. It is the most important planet, as everybody knows, the Karka of the five houses. And basically, if you see, it is the Akash Tattva. So, so if you see your body is hollow and empty. Your body is having nothing, right? If you go inside your body, there's nothing. So it's all hollow. So that's why meditation is the best remedy to increase the Akash Tattva. So increase the Akash Tattva is like increase the Jupiter in your life. And meditation is mostly given by your Guru. So following the Guru, as Bhabajeet is saying, worshipping the Guru, and doing the mantra or the dhyan given by the Guru is very good remedy for increasing the Akash. What does it Akash means? It is more depth, right? More depth in yourself. So then you say, okay, Jupiter is very depthful planet. So it has that depth in whatever he says. Mercury is information, Jupiter is wisdom. So that's why you have a transformation being a student to the teacher. Jupiter, Mercury to Jupiter. So when you talk about Devatas, for Mercury it is Vishnu, for Jupiter it is Narayan. So Vishnu is a form of information. Narayan is like the complete form when the information converts into the wisdom. So obviously Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Bhagavato Vasudevaya, whatever mantra you want to do. But as per Rishi Jaimini, as per Rishi Parashara also, so Guru is Shiva. So worshipping Lord Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya chanting works very well for Brihaspati also. Other than this, Guru controls this Agya Chakra, right, in your body. So and then where you take all the decisions in your life. So placing Guru Tattva from here, like Chandan, like Haldi, or maybe Kesar here. This is a tradition in our culture, because that activates the Guru. It basically cool down the Chandan, Kesar, Haldi, cool down this Agya Chakra. So you are into, and that's why females are supposed to put a bindi here after marriage, because you are supposed to be in balance after marriage. Being a girl is different. When you are married, it is very different, and that's why for an important person or a person of a high repute, you can put a tilak here, either of haldi, chandan, or kesar, whatever. You can mix all of these. And Jupiter is banana. So So maybe you can consume banana or offer banana to the divine, to Lord Shiva, to Krishna, whomsoever what, depending upon whatever activity you want to do. But for me, the most important remedy for Jupiter is meditation, because that is the thing which will increase space in your mind, space in your body as well. And second is, I personally do Guru Puja written by Adi Shankaracharya. So Guru Puja is like honoring your masters from ages. So when you honor your masters, then they bless, because Jupiter is the only planet who can have that power of solution. So when you worship Jupiter, worship Brihaspati in any form, then the power of giving solution increases in you. So for a Jyotishi, it is very important that you have a strong Jupiter. Until unless you neither you can predict, or maybe you cannot give any solution, or if you give any solution, that will not work for the person, because theoretically you can easily know, okay, for Mercury I have to give even you can create a software, Mercury 10 remedies, you can give the printout. But the barkat or the shifa in a Jyotishi will come only when he has a very strong Jupiter, and maintaining the strong Jupiter, because it is very pavitra. Anything bad which you do will tarnish your Jupiter. So the most important planets for maintenance, you have to maintain Jupiter. That is your value system. So maintaining your value system, keeping strong your value system, and worshipping your gurus. And Shiva is the Adi Guru. So worshipping Shiva can help to improve Jupiter. Rest everything, I mean, is being already covered.
Okay. So, Alok sir, Bhabajeet, this has been an amazing session. We could have gone on and on, but because of paucity of time, we'll have to end it here. So, thank you so much for joining us on this platform. Alok sir, Bhabajeet, thank you so much. And we hope to see you again on a new podcast sometime in the future. Thank you.